Hola from the West Side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope that everyone is being safe out there. Hey, Tatted Hearts. Hope everybody's being safe out there. I have a couple of things to talk about, but we're going to start it out with the elephant in the room, the coronavirus. Because I happen to live in one of, the places, obviously, that it's growing in the United States. Now, there's a bigger issue, I would say, currently. 3 more days until the weekend. I know, Tatted Hearts. There's a bigger issue, obviously, now in New York. So I am definitely praying for my friends that are in New York. Because you guys have some stuff going on. As far as here in California, the 3,500 passengers on the cruise line are in the process of being let off the ship, screened, and if they screen positive, put into quarantine as we speak. So they think it's going to take them about 3 to 4 days to get all those people off of that boat. Because they're not going to let them all come off at once. They're going to be doing it in shifts. Because they're going to screen them and clear who they can clear. And if you don't get cleared, and I imagine that there's going to be a spike in the cases. They had 22 in the first 45 people. So if they had 22 in the first 45 people out of 3,500, it's not looking good. It's looking like a lot of people on that cruise line are going to test positive. So that's what's going on. And that's up in the Bay Area that ship is off the coast. I know that the state of Washington is also one of the states that is, affected out here on the West Coast. And I haven't heard any further in regards to the state of Florida. So right now, as far as I know, there's only 2 cases there. But there's other cases that are popping up in the middle of the country. They're just starting to pop up, and I think that we're starting to see ones that are being people who are going to test positive that are community. In other words, they're not going to be catching it from people outside of the country because it's starting to, spread into our system, and then of course, because the symptoms are very similar, to influenza, it could be the people who actually have it aren't even bothering to get tested. That's another scary thought, which is the reason why you have the panic at, the suppliers, the chains. All the chains are like running out of everything. But the thing is that in realistic terms, if you're thinking that you're going to need something, what you should be thinking is that you need at least 2 weeks in case you end up being someone who's quarantined and you can't get it delivered, So that's what people should have. And honestly, guys, the way people are emptying the shelves, they're like getting years. People are going way overboard. And then some of these people I know are turning around and trying to sell that stuff at a premium. Not right, not cool. You know, we always have hand sanitizer soap in my house, so it's not like I had to go find some. We already have it, you know. And I think for those of us who already are in the practice of washing our hands and, you know, using, you know, some type of hygiene when it comes to not trying to get, you know, our germs on other people or catch other people's germs. You know, those of us who do that on a regular basis, I don't think are the ones who need to be concerned. It's the ones who aren't doing it. And the hypochondriacs, of course, because you have people who are paranoid about catching everything. Now, of course, there are some people who may be at a higher risk, but that's not everybody. That's not everybody. You know, most of us, if we do get a cold, it's going to be a regular cold. And I've had some friends who are in the medical profession that say that this COVID-19, which is what they're calling the coronavirus, because apparently this is the 19th strain. So, or it could be because it was discovered in 19, you know, last year. That might be what it is. So it's the 2019 strain. Because although those of us in the West just got it, it started in 2019 in China. So I don't know if the 19 is standing for the strain or for the fact of the year that it was discovered. I'm gonna look into that. I'll find out. I'll let you guys know when I find out. But now, one of the things that is starting to happen is that a lot of parents are looking at the homeschool option for their kids during this current, you know, coronavirus spread. And I know, like, for the parents who already were homeschooling their kids, you guys are way ahead of everybody else. You know, thankfully, you know, a lot of the classes can be done online, and you can have teachers, you know, teaching everything online. And there are schools and universities that are looking into that right now. I told you guys, I think it was yesterday, I told you that I knew that the university I went to, University of Southern California, is looking at it. I still haven't heard anything as to whether UCLA is looking into that. But I think that there's other schools in other states that are looking at that. I think that they are perhaps looking at that in New York to help contain, you know, and I do know that, like, in Northern California, I believe the Elk Grove Unified School District decided to close down their school a week ahead of their spring break. In other words, they're moving their spring break 1 week earlier and closing the schools so that they can and this is their way of trying to, you know, control stuff, even though there's only been one confirmed case in their area. One. But everyone is trying to err on the side of caution, because we know that when they're telling us stuff, there's a whole bunch that they're not telling us. You know, so people are going to err on the side of caution. And you can't even blame the school district for that. Hey, Miss Mahogany. Hey, big boy. Hey, Laramie. Thank you. Sure, big boy. What is the question? Yeah, I know they've shut down after school activities in New York. I heard about that. But I think they're looking into online school too, like California is. It's crazy though. But they're afraid that the kids are going to get it. You know? Because at this point we haven't really had any children. It's all been adults. But with this cruise line that's off the coast of California with 3,500 people on it, there's some kids on there. So hopefully none of the children test positive. But yeah, people don't want the kids to get affected with something, that could potentially kill somebody. And I don't blame them. I do not blame them. Yeah. Let's see. It's just it's like every day there's another case. Not necessarily where you are, but there's another case. I mean, we've got like what? 7,500, and Italy has 75,000, and China has in the hundreds of thousands. So even with it not being, that gigantic amount of people in other parts of the world, the fact that it's hundreds of thousands in one country would lead me to call this an epidemic, But I guess we got to wait for the World Health Organization to make that call. And I certainly would like to know what it is that they are doing. I mean, what does the World Health Organization really do? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what they really do? No, I didn't miss your comment, big boy, but I'm not going to be playing any videos on my channel today. Yeah, I'm not playing videos from other channels on my channel without channel holders' permission. And I don't tend to play videos on my channel. Now, I will watch it on my own, but I'm not going to play it during my my live stream because that's not part of what I do. Yeah, I don't like to put comments. I don't like to put other content creators' videos up. Because I've looked at those ones that you sent me the links for before, and I like them and everything. But I don't put those typically. I don't typically play other content creators on YouTube. I like my live streams to be original content. Either me talking, about things, or, I invite, some of my subscribers to come up when we have specific topics that are in their fields of expertise. I think there probably are more cases in Connecticut, Miss Mahogany, because here's the thing, like even here in California, or I will say in Los Angeles County, I think that they have more cases because it was only one lab that was doing the testing up until like a week ago. And now they've got 2 private labs that are also testing for it. So I think that we will probably see more cases. But the thing is that people have to realize they have to go to their doctor. And the doctors are determining if they need to be tested for the coronavirus. But a lot of people aren't doing that. I don't know what they think. If you've got, symptoms and they don't seem to be like the common cold, just go check it out to make sure. The doctor's going to either tell you got a regular cold or you don't. But I understand, people are leery right now because they think, well, if they don't have it, and I'm speaking from things I've heard people say, they don't want to go anywhere near a hospital because they think they might catch it by being in a hospital because somebody in the hospital might have it. It hasn't really gotten to that level because most of these people who are testing positive are at home. They're not in the hospital. They're at home. And I think even the woman who passed, like, in the last few days, I believe she was at home and then she started feeling some kind of way and may have gone to the hospital at the end, but she wasn't like under constant hospital supervision. So that's the thing is that, you just need to make sure that like that's not what you have. Now, obviously, if you haven't been anywhere near anyone, there's no possible contact, then it's probably just a cold, but it could be the flu. And influenza can be deadly as well if you're, within the risk ages. The scary thing is with this one, with the coronavirus, is that they're telling people 50 and older to be concerned. When technically we're not senior citizens till we're over 65. So that's very interesting that they would even put that into the mix. Yes, there may be some people in between the ages of 50 and 60 that may have, some health issues, but that's not the case with a lot of us. A lot of us are in good health. And about the only thing we do catch is a cold. So I wonder why they made it a risk factor down to the age of 50. But the interesting thing to me in regards to this, that's a good thing, is that most of the states, where there is a concern, they're getting, the public health emergency in their area, and then they're doing what they need to do, using federal funds rather than hanging out waiting for the vice president. Now, that case with that cruise liner was an extreme because those people technically were not in the state of California, which is why the governor took the action that he did in not allowing them to disembark at any port of call here. And the fact that they knew they had people positive on that ship is probably a saving grace, for us. We don't need no extra cases. We really don't. Now, I don't know how many of those people are from this state that were on that cruise liner, because with the cruise liners, people generally come into wherever the ports are, and they can be coming from anywhere else in the country. They're just going to that port to get on a ship that's going where it is that they want to go. So, and I know that, hey, Stefan, I haven't seen you so long. We're talking about the coronavirus, COVID-19. You said a lady got upset with you because you said a lot of people are homeschooling. That's what I'm saying. That's now the national news today. That homeschooling is going to take on a new look, because you're going to be having people who are homeschooling who are not the traditional homeschoolers. So it's going to be a different look. But, homeschooling has come a long way from what it was maybe 20 years ago. It's very, very organized, very systematic, especially, with them being able to attend classes via the internet and having their teachers online. The thing is that prior to this big boom in homeschooling for kids all the way up to high school, colleges had already jumped onto that. A lot of colleges already had the options for you to go to school online. I mean, completely online. Now you have schools, obviously, like the University of Phoenix, where they do some stuff online and then they do the weekend classes. But there's other schools in the United States and abroad that you can get degrees, masters and PhDs completely online without ever stepping foot on the campus. So might be the wave of the future. And I think a lot of people are looking into it, maybe as a permanent solution, where they can, so they can protect their kids from epidemics like this, and although it doesn't appear to be, an epidemic, because the majority of the cases are not in the United States, but with those numbers, it's an epidemic. And, I know that the World Health Organization is somewhat involved in it at this point. I really need to know I wonder what they really do, because I always seem to think that they have a hidden agenda, and many of these organizations do. When things come about like this, and like when we had that Ebola epidemic that hit the continent, a lot of these things, to me, I'm just going to be honest, my feeling is that some of them are a way to depopulate, because the theory is that there's too many people on this planet, and we don't have enough resources for all the people. It's not the truth, because we are the ones who are making it that way by stealing resources from other parts. But this earth has enough resources for the people that populate it. The problem is that we have people who are greedy and are afraid that we're going to run out. So they think the better solution is to get rid of some people so that there are less people on the planet. Just telling you what my theory is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because that's what I'm saying, Stephan. I think, I mean, for me, it's very, very odd that the country with the next highest amount of people with the coronavirus outside of China is Italy. How the hell did that happen? I'm just wondering. You know, I mean, to my knowledge, there's not a huge Chinese population in Italy. You know, so nor, you know, is there a huge amount of people who suddenly were over there for the Festival of Lights. It just seems very, very odd that there's so many cases in that one country. And I'm just wondering where the heck they came from. And why Italy? And Iceland. We're not going to forget Iceland. But Italy has surpassed Iceland. Yep. I know. That's been my theory too, Miss Mahogany. You know. But you know, they have this other theory going around that here's the new theory here's the theory that's been floating around for a few weeks. That people in that region of China were eating bat soup, and that's how we got the coronavirus, that it came from bats, from eating bat soup. Now, I'm not going to even laugh because it's not funny. But I keep telling people, do you know how ridiculous that sounds? That's not true. This was somebody's petri dish experiment gone awry. Because they took a previous strain of this virus and made it into the COVID-19. And I guess COVID-19 stands for 2019, coronavirus 2019. That's what the 19 stands for. I was thinking it was the 19th strain, but that's not right. Because I don't think there's been 19 strains of this. I think that this is the 2019 version of it. And that's why they're calling it COVID-19, because it started in, as far as we know, it started in December. But y'all know, I'm sure it was around before December. But that's just as far back as China is going to admit that it was there. So we're going to go with December. Yeah, I know it was in some lab, and somehow it made its way over to China. Somebody was trying to depopulate China. Heck, it could have been the Chinese government. And they may have purposely let this spread so that they could see how much damage it'll do to the rest of the world. You know? Because it could be used as biological warfare. I'm just saying. It's just my theory. Just my theory. But when it comes to things like this, I know things are not the way that they seem, especially when it was covered up. It was covered up. And I mean, I don't know why that even surprises me. Why does that surprise me? Because think about it. When the Japanese had issues with their cars, and I know the Japanese and Chinese are different, I'm just making a point. But when the Japanese had issues with their cars, with the Toyotas, it took them forever to admit that they might have had some issues. Same thing, with the European car makers who did similar stuff. I think with the Volkswagen, it was Volkswagen, some other cars, where they lied. So, now granted, that's just, cars. But the thing is, my point is that countries don't like to admit that they messed up. Countries would rather die, as far as, it's like shame on the country if they mess up, So I really think that that's what it is, that China didn't want the rest of the world to know they had a major snafu going on. People were dying, and they had no way to control it. I know, Steph, and that's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying that I think that it's something that mistakenly, accidentally, on purpose got released. And once it was out there, they just decided to see what it was going to do. Now, I don't know if there's an issue with the specific region of China as to if it is the government that allowed that to happen, if maybe they had some issues with that particular region. I don't know. But it's over 500,000 people in China. Over 500,000 people, y'all. It's a lot of people. But since there's billions of people in China, yeah. What's 500,000 people? What's 500,000? I guess that's what they're thinking. So what? So what if 500,000 people are sick? So what? It's a lot of people. I'm just trying to, it's over 500,000 people in China. But ironically, most of them are in that specific region. It's not like it's spreading all over China. Just a little interesting thing for y'all to think about. It's like mainly they've pretty much isolated it primarily. I mean, of course, they've got some that are scattered, but the bulk of those people are in the area where it started. So somehow they figured out how to keep it in one area of the country, of the Republic of China. The health minister in England has it. Jeez, man. I wonder how they got it. Were they over in that part of the world? See, that's why people are literally canceling flights and canceling going to things. You guys know that they postponed Coachella. They moved Coachella from April to October. I think Coachella Valley's probably they're out there probably freaking out, because that means the money that they were counting on in April won't come until October. And what if they can't get the same lineup? Because artists may have already booked other shows for in October. But yeah, they have moved Coachella to October. It's postponed because of the coronavirus. And Wall Street, y'all, like I said yesterday, if any of your 401ks are in the stocks, don't even look at anything for the next couple months. Just don't look at it. Because I think this is going to be like this for a minute. Now, of course, the Fed is trying to stop the bleeding from the finicky investors by, lowering interest rates to all-time lows, which is good for those who may want to buy, But right now, yeah, the stock market just keeps bleeding. It keeps hitting all-time lows, they're trying to, but every day it falls again. It goes up, goes back down. As soon as they say somebody else has it. As soon as they say somebody else has it. Hey, Terry. We are doing good tonight. We're doing the coronavirus right now. Our favorite topic. Everybody's favorite topic. And, just the effects that it's having, really. I mean, it's having an effect on education because literally people who were not homeschooling children are now seriously thinking about homeschooling. And there's going to be a push for homeschooling right now. We have a school district in Northern California that decided they were going to move spring break a week early in answer to one case of the coronavirus in Elk Grove. And Coachella, which is normally next month, has been moved to October. So I'm sure Coachella Valley is just, woo, they're happy right now. And I don't remember hearing of any cases out in that area. However, it's because you guys know how they do when they do Coachella. It's this huge, it's like a field. And they've got stages all over the place. And the primary audience for Coachella, I'm going to say is primarily under 40. Because I can't even say under 30. I'm going to say under 40 because you got some folks that are in their 30s that don't mind hanging out there, for those few days, several weekends, because I believe it's like 2 weekends. So now it's going to be 2 weekends in October. But the question is, are they going to get the same artists who were booked for the 2 weekends in April? Or is this going to change completely who's going to be at Coachella? And then you have some universities, like I told you guys, USC is offering online to whoever wants it. I guess I think they're doing it for the rest of the semester. But like I said earlier, a lot of colleges and universities have always had the option of online classes. I just think a lot of people are going to be allowed to utilize those options because they're going to make classes that people maybe normally would be going to the lecture hall on campus to go to online. Maybe it'll be streamed and the professor will be in the room by himself and all the students are at home on their laptops watching it. It may get to that point. But I know that quite a few school districts, at least here in California, are allowing parents to look at the options for online schooling. And I'm talking about for high schoolers. But I do know that online options are available from grades 1 through 12. It's the homeschooling industry. It's going to be booming, I think, for the next few months. Yeah, I'm sure that they're probably changing some of the ones in Europe too. You know, I think there's a lot of things that are being moved. But like Coachella is a huge one in Southern California. They do it out in the desert. It's out past Palm Springs and Palm Desert. And, you know, I wonder, you know, by them moving it, is that going to change? Also people, because a lot of people fly in to go to that thing. It's not just people that live locally in Southern California that go to Coachella. So, but at least they're letting them know about a month out. But and they're talking about doing some of the games with no attendees, just the basketball teams or the baseball teams and whatnot. I mean, I'm hearing about that happening here in the United States, just like it's happening in some parts of Europe. People still want to see their sports, but they also want to make sure that they're not in a large crowd with somebody who has the coronavirus who didn't go get tested. And I can't blame them. I mean, I would think twice about going to a game right now too. I mean, I think my sister's going to a game in a couple of weeks, and she's hoping that by then, we won't be dealing with some of the stuff that's going on right now. But currently, the cases in Los Angeles County are growing. It's still under 20 cases, but there shouldn't be any. This should have never left mainland China. I'm being perfectly honest. It should have stayed there. It should have never gone to anywhere else in the world. And I think that they let this happen. I think they let it happen. Oh, yeah, the Notting Hill Festival. Yeah, that's the one that they showed in that movie, Notting Hill. I love that movie. That part, because they showed all the shops and everything and all the vendors. Yeah, man. See, this is changing a lot of stuff. Because I know that like some of the, of the football teams in Europe are doing games without anybody at the game. I know that's what they're doing in Italy. Because like I said, people want their sports and they still want the games to happen at least, but I think that may be coming to the United States soon too. Because a lot of, players, I think, are concerned. Fans are concerned. And let's be honest, we know a lot of people who just will not stay home if they're sick. Now, thankfully, with this particular thing, if they are identified with it, they are quarantined. Everybody's going to know you have it, So you're not able to go around. But people aren't getting tested. That's why I think there's more cases. Also, because some people were non-symptomatic when they, came through the airports or, got off the boats or however, wherever it is that they were coming from. So they're not going to get a positive. I just don't know if they're screening for this particular virus properly. I don't have that comfort. Because initially they didn't know what the heck they were doing. So I'm really not sure if they know what they're doing even now. Because just taking somebody's temperature, I'm sorry, that's not enough to say whether they have the virus or not. It's just not. Well, we have it is football season. Actually, it's both football seasons because now we have two American football leagues, and the second football league is playing right now. But it's also the time for our soccer, which is your football, that's going on, and it's also our baseball season and our basketball season. We've got all these different sports that are going on right now in the middle of the coronavirus. So I do know that in different parts of the world, they're in our part of our country, they're making those decisions. They're making those decisions they're even making those decisions for high school games, you guys. They're even making those decisions for high school games. I mean, you got to think about all the different places where you're going to be around a whole bunch of people. And it's sad that they have to think about all of this, and got to think, well, shoot, is this going to be gone by the time my concert is coming up? Because we're going into the outdoor concert season, after Coachella, then you have the City of Lights Jazz Festival, that's also in April in Las Vegas, because they're advertising for it right now. And that one's an outdoor event. That's in Vegas. Then you have another jazz festival, because you're going into the jazz festival season right now here in this part of the country. And I'm sure you are in other parts, but this is a time where they do a lot of outdoor music things, from April on all the way through the summer. So it could potentially affect a lot of events, over the next several months. In England, there are. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of stuff that goes on over the next few months. Yeah, they have like here, they have a bunch of different things that go on over the summer and the spring. And I'm not just talking about music festivals. They got a few things that they have. Think about it. I mean, in a few months, it's going to be Independence Day again, guys. So let me see. We're almost to the point where people are going to start shooting off fireworks again. Yep. Those are also events where it's a lot of people out, So, I mean, I'm just thinking of all the things that are going to be happening. And you got to think, okay, do I want to go to that? Do I want to be out in public with a whole bunch of people? Do I have a mask that I can put over my face? Do I have latex gloves I can have on? That's how we have to be thinking. I'm planning on going to see my dad in a few months. I'm not going right now, but I'm going by the summer. And, am I going to have to take even more precautions? Because you're in an enclosed space with a whole bunch of people on planes. And I hate that already. And I'm already always covering myself, trying to not be sick on the plane, covering my mouth up and everything. So this is just going to probably take me to the steroid, level with it. I'm not a germaphobe. However, I don't like getting sick. I don't want somebody else's germs. And everybody doesn't wash their hands or wipe their backsides when they go to the bathroom. I'm just saying. So we have those issues too. Oh yeah, the Rolling Stones. Ooh, how's this gonna affect their tour? I didn't even think about it. I forgot that the Stones were touring. Is Mick Jagger doing better now? Because I know they had canceled some stuff because he had some stuff going on last year. But I think he's doing better now. I'm telling you, Stefan, there are some nasty people in the world. There are nasty people. There are people who do not wash their hands when they go to the bathroom. Hell, they don't wash their hands at all. And they definitely don't wipe their bottoms. There are people who do that. It's gross. It's disgusting. But it's a fact. I know the Rolling Stones always put on a good concert. I've only been to one Rolling Stone concert in person in my life. Also because they don't tour very much. But the one that I went to, there were a few of us brown people in the crowd. I wasn't the only rocker. No, but they put on, seriously, they put on a great concert. Yeah, there's just some gross people. I mean, and that's the other thing, that's the reason why some people, I hate to say that's why some people get sick in restaurants, because some restaurant workers don't wash their hands. They should be, but they're not. I mean, I think those of us who worked in fast food restaurants at some point, as summer jobs when we were in high school, how many of you still go to the fast food joint that you worked at? I go every once in a while because I worked at Burger King. But I never was a Whopper eater. I'm still not. So I hardly ever go to Burger King because all I liked was the specialty sandwiches, and they took most of those away. So they don't have a whole bunch of stuff in there that I want to eat, But my sister worked in Popeyes. And, we're going to still go to Popeyes forever. I don't go that often, you guys. I do not go to Popeyes chicken that often. I don't go to fast food restaurants that often. But, when they did that old chicken sandwich thing, man, I didn't have time for them for a while. I had to put Popeyes on punishment. Because I only like the butterfly shrimp. That's what I like to get from there. I don't know how I got on food. Oh, coronavirus. Yeah. And they still have that restaurant here. They were on the news again today. It's a restaurant here in Alhambra, which is one of the communities that used to be extremely Asian, but it's not anymore. It's more multicultural, but they still have a whole lot of Chinese and other Asian restaurants there. So I mean, Chinese, Vietnamese, and there's one restaurant in Alhambra that's taking people's temperature before they go into the restaurant, as a precaution, so people know that they're not going to be in a room with people who are sick or whatever, or symptomatic because of the coronavirus. And because, you know, a lot of people are giving Chinese food the side eye right now because of the coronavirus, because the virus came from, you know, originated in China, or at least that's what they want us to think. I'll put it that way. They want us to think it came from China. So that's what we think. And so for that reason, people are giving, you know, Chinese restaurants the side eye. You know, some of them are probably trying to drum up business because they don't have nothing to do with this coronavirus. You know, and the story about people getting it from eating bat soup, yeah. I think that's a legend. I think that's one of those little urban legends. They don't know how the heck people got it. I think it got introduced into the bio code in that particular region. And it spread like wildfire. That's what I think happened. It just got dropped down there. And then it passed around. And then it moved on out of the country. And now it's moving around the world. And, you know, by next year, they hope to have a vaccine for the current coronavirus. But keep in mind that by the time they have that vaccine, there'll be a new strain of this same virus because, you know, it gets stronger, you know, as the, you know, medicines and everything come through it. And it's the next, so they will have something for this one, but it's not going to, that's no guarantee that it's going to be able to, you know, affect whatever the coronavirus is that comes out then, because it can be a different strain. You guys know that from with the flu shots, that the shots you're getting are from the flus that were around before. They have no real guarantee that it's going to work on the new flu. They're hoping and praying. I'm just saying, they're hoping and praying. Because medicine is an art, okay? When they're mixing up all the different things, trying to figure out what's going to work and everything, it's an art. You know? And in many cases, the doctors are rolling those dice because they don't know. They've never seen a coronavirus like this before. So they're trying to figure it out. And whatever they come up with, we'll work on what's around right now. I don't think it's going to, I wouldn't trust anything that they would shoot me with. I don't get flu shots. Because when I did get the flu shot, what did I get? I got the flu. And I got it really bad. So I'm good. And my father, the doctor, also does not get flu shots for the exact same reason. Because when he got it, he ended up getting it as well. And there is a percentage of people, when they get these vaccines, will end up getting the flu. It's a small portion of the people, but I fell in that number, so I'm good on flu shots. Good on them. You know, and you know I have my feelings about all the vaccinations that my son was given as a child, being responsible for him being on the autism spectrum. But that's what I believe happens with my kids. So I'm not an anti-vacciner, but I say do your research before you just go out willy-nilly and get a vaccine for this coronavirus when it comes out. Just saying. Because They're trying to rush this along so that they have something available by next flu season. It is a business, but medicine itself, practicing medicine, is an art. The doctors can only diagnose things based on what they have seen. If they've never seen anything like it, they have to figure it out. It's an art. That's why I call it an art. Because they're basically, putting potions together to see how it works. I'm telling you. They have to do, it's a guessing game. It's a guessing game for them. Even though if they've gone to school for all of these different things. But this is new. They don't know what this thing is. That's why they're all scrambling. They know that it's some type of flu virus. But, the fact that it appears to be killing people in a larger percentage than with other influenzas, yeah, that make me worried. I mean, you guys remember, like last year, we had people, was it last year? Or it was either last flu season or the flu season before, where we had that really bad flu that people who were young, we had young people dying from that flu. But it was, that was something that was pretty much our country was dealing with. It was, one of our flus and stuff. This is a worldwide flu. So. Yeah. So. And do I think somebody knows how to get rid of it? Sure, somebody knows how to get rid of it. But they're not going to do it. This is going to serve a purpose for someone. It's a learning lesson for the rest of us. Learning lesson for the rest of us. But I'm going to get ready to come on camera for you guys before I get off. I didn't think we were going to spend the whole hour on Corona, but hey, it's like that sometimes. Let me see. Where's my camera? Hey guys. How are ya? Let's see this is my football, my Redskins top for my hometown American football team, the Washington Redskins. How's everybody doing? I know my hair is kind of looking crazy. It's all over my head. I can't even get, oh, there it is. Yeah, now straight my braids. Get them now. How you guys doing? Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate everyone for being here. Appreciate you all for being here. And before I go, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I would not be able to do this without you guys. I appreciate you guys for coming and hanging out with me in the Purple Paisley Den. And as always, oh, here comes David. As always, I'm offering you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. You want to come say hi, David? You see, there's his hand. That's David's hand. That's why y'all gonna get peace, guys. Blessings from the West Side. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for coming, everybody. Bye.